Join me for today's video if you want to learn how to make a design just like this, but without using floral foam. Welcome back to design number 2 of our quick and easy designs for Christmas. If you haven't been here before, my name is Sharon Dower and I'm the founder of the Sharon Dower online flower school that teaches you how to create floral designs through an online learning portal. Now, I've already created one design in here before using floral foam. Today I'm going to use a little container filled with fresh water and flower food that's going to sit almost like a secondary container inside my cube. If I wanted to, I could add some wire netting to support my flowers, but instead I'm going to use some greenery that's going to act as like a support network for my flowers. And I'm going to use some box. So this is a garden foliage, and the beauty with this is it has quite long stems that's going to allow me to get down to the water source in the bottom. Now, the design that I've already made used 2 different types of greenery, and the reason I can't reuse that is because the stems just aren't long enough. So my first tip, if you're arranging in water or wire netting, is to make sure that you've got long enough stems of flowers and greenery so that they reach right the way down to the bottom. And remember to remove any of the little leaves, thorns, or anything that's going to contaminate the water, because we need to keep that water nice and clean. And what I've tried to do here is create a bit of I call it a support network. It's like a core structure that's going to hold the rest of your flowers into place. And I've aimed to have it quite circular. I'm not too concerned if it's not perfect, but it's given me a bit of an outline shape. And I've also got a couple of longer pieces of the eucalyptus, which is going to help link with the grey tones in my container, again to fill it out and provide me with almost like a network that my flowers are going to feed through, and it will hold the flowers into position. So if you haven't got wire netting at home, consider using some bulky greenery to act like your floral foam or your wire netting would be. And if you haven't got greenery, then you can use a fairly large flower like a hydrangea, low at the base, to hold your flowers into position. But before I put my hydrangea in, I'm going to create a variation in texture, so a bit of contrast here in texture alongside my box greenery. Now, I've been facing this forward to you as I've been talking, but I've just realised that that piece there, although it's lovely, it is covering that decorative element at the front. So I'm going to chop that off and place a few more bits of greenery in. So this is a great one for anybody that does have access to foliage, because you can really fill that out and make that base layer really supportive for when you add your flowers in. Now, I've only got one hydrangea in the studio today, so this one is going to come a little bit towards the centre, but slightly leaning forward so that you can really appreciate it from the front. There's not going to be a set style with this arrangement, because I really do have to rely on that foliage base to support the flowers into position. So it's going to be a much more rustic, more natural design. Then I'm going to go with some of the gyp. Now, this gyp has been left over really from a previous design, so it's a bit straggly. But what's good about it is it shows you that you don't necessarily have to have lots of expensive flowers to create a design. This gyp here is left over from wedding bouquets that we did on the weekend. That's going to fill out that design really nicely. At this stage, it's just base layer and filler flowers and something heavy to support all our other material. And then we're almost going to layer up with our more interesting material. Next, I'm going to go with a really pretty chrysanthemum. Now, this is a florist chrysanthemum, but you will pick up chrysanthemums quite easily in a supermarket. This one is called Coconut. And what I've estimated really is the length my flower needs to be to reach the bottom of my water, and by just measuring it alongside the side of my container gives me a good indication of how tall it needs to be. And I'm almost doubling up on this arrangement, so it's almost like twice the size of the box underneath. Lovely and light and airy, nothing too heavy. Now, because I don't have any foam there, it's really difficult to add a candle into this one because I don't have anything to secure it to. But you could sit it alongside a nice big fat church candle, or you could add some pretty sparkly fairy lights into there if you want to get that festive look. And really, I've started to get that lower level in. You will remember this amazing reflexed rose. This is Hypnose, and that has literally come out of that previous arrangement. And I'm going to layer it on top, the smallest cut on the bottom, so that I don't lose the length on it. And I'm going to nestle them in amongst the greenery and that larger hydrangea there at the front. And if you've got hydrangeas in the garden, then just cut the hydrangeas. It doesn't matter if they're starting to dry off this time of the year, but you're going to get a delightful base structure for your arrangement that will hold the flowers into place. Then that previous arrangement had some birch, and I'm not going to cut this any shorter than it was in the previous arrangement. This is going to help elongate the arrangement and make more emphasis on the height. And of course, with the twigs, they don't even have to reach the water at the bottom of the container because they will dry quite naturally in the arrangement itself. That is bang on trend at the moment. That is exactly what we're doing for wedding table centres at the moment, where you have those big reflexed roses and the hydrangea there at the base to give you that really heavy base weight. Don't forget that amazing Calicarpa berry that I also used in the previous arrangement. And if you haven't been watching a tutorial with me before, then the description box is underneath the video. So if I ever mention, there's information in the description box. It's in that box that's underneath, directly underneath the video. And you will find some discount codes there, which will allow you to have 10% off any of the new courses that are on the website. So if you want to participate in one of the Christmas ones, there is a 10% discount code there for you, and you will find it in the description box. Now, this type of arrangement is going to work much better in a low down coffee table. So it's a design that you would be looking at from above. So from the camera, you might not be able to see the smaller flowers that are lower down, but you can definitely see them from the overhead camera, and you can really appreciate all the different colours and textures. And the only material that I haven't put in from that previous arrangement is 2 pieces of the willow, and this is really going to add in some extra height. And if you don't want the arrangement to be quite so tall, then you can obviously tuck them down lower. And then my final addition is going to be the silver artificial ferns. And because they don't need to be in water, I can literally just rest these in amongst all the different materials to really distribute that glittery texture and colour throughout the arrangement. So that's a really simple design using some basic flowers and foliages. If you don't have the same flower combination as me, a mixed bunch from the supermarket would work just as well. Think about adding some twigs or branches to get some extra height, and you really are going to have a spectacular design for Christmas. I'm going to try and get 3 designs out of this set of flowers. So come back and watch design number 3. And if you click the bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and comment in the box, share with your friends and family. I know it's a lot to do, but it really helps this channel grow. And let me know where you're watching from. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.